Well, good morning, Bonfire Racing League. I know the season hasn't started yet, but we've got a recruitment race up and ready to go with a few drivers that you may know and some that you may not, since it's a open hosted session. Great recruitment race. Looks like we've got 11 cars on the grid so far, and we're gonna have radios up as well, just like Kevin Kyle does it. So
cautions. Only thing
yeah, David Medina on pole in that number 9 car, picking up right where he left off last season, being dominant, being that fastest car when it comes to qualifying with David Owens in the 11. Fast and L car, new paint scheme for David Owens. Behind him, I'm probably going to butcher it, but Ryan Vanassi in that number 23 Dr. Pepper cream soda car. John Dorenboss in the 29 Reese's with Elvis Presley on there. Dennis Puckett in that 5th position in the Takis number 12 admin for the Bonfire Racing League as a whole. Right behind him, my co-partner on the racetrack, Kevin Kyle in that number 31 Cavoque Racing Mustang, the roadblock as we like to call him. Nick Mills in the number 8 Mills Insurance and Cougar Bait American Blonde Ale race car. New paint scheme that we saw in the middle of the season instead of that blue number 8 car. Brock Hawkins in the number 14 Exalta paint scheme. Joe Amato in that number 15 Logitech car. And then Thomas Fox in the number 57.
And number 12, I like that Talkies paint.
But we're going to go green here once we get to the start-finish line. David Medina going to lead us to the green flag. So hopefully it should be some good racing here. No points awarding for this race. It's just a fun race. So hopefully everybody keeps their cool and we'll see some great racing, maybe some 2-wide action here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 115 laps is the distance. So the pace car pulls down pit road, and we're going to have Dave Medina leading us to the green once he gets to the Geico restart zone. Green flag up in the air. We're racing. Even start for the 2 Davids on the front row. Number 23, Dr. Pepper's car, trying to see if he can give a shove to that 9 car, get him to the early lead. Number 29 shoots up the racetrack, gets a little tight there on the entry to 3, probably sending in with too much speed. As the 23 gets loose and he hits David Owens, he's into the wall. Huge damage for the number 11. That's going to be a broken toe link. We saw it here live.
So sorry, I got loose.
See if we can rewind it here.
That's my fault.
See what fully happened with that accident. See if it collected anybody else. But yeah, the 23 just gets loose and puts David Owens into the wall. Luckily, he keeps it up top. Doesn't collect anybody else, but he's going to lose that front nose.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get you there.
Hey, whoever's in the 17 car, wherever that was you just passed, pay attention to what you're doing, please. You want to check us out.
So first lap carnage here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. David Owens involved after getting hit by the number 5 of, let's see here, Ryan Vanassi in the number 5 or 23, as his paint shows. So he got loose there coming off of turn number 4. As we see very often, cold tires, gotta get them warmed up before you can run them at full speed.
I understand that too, but it just looked like you swerved up in front of us when you seen us coming up. I didn't realize it was you.
No, yeah, it's rotating like 3 times before it actually wants to turn.
You never actually know sometimes about people on here. You see them just jump
David
up in
Owens
front
going to
of
be
you
one
and
lap down after that incident, getting
you.
it back straight. He's going to go down pit road, and I'm not sure if they have any fast repairs. I believe they do since it's a recruitment race, but we'll find out here shortly to see if he can get that damage repaired. Hard to get that car turned with the broken toe links. We heard it on the radio, but he gets it into his stall, and time to see here if he can get that damage fixed. It looks like the nose is on that car, so he's going to get back out on the racetrack. He's going to be one lap down. Looks like Ryan's trying to do something with his car. Maybe try and do something with a pit stop. Not sure what. Doesn't look like it's working out for him. But back up front, it's Dave Medina and John Dorenbos. I apologize if you join the league later and you I butcher your name. Small little recruitment race here. Not showing the full field here for the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. We're probably missing 20 more, and our reigning champ, Jason Landry, who I don't think he knew there was a race this morning, so he's probably sleeping in, having a good time. Reliving that championship at Michigan. But it's a new slate here, new season. We could see a new champion by the end of this season. If I look here, I can see how many races we have this season. Maybe some of the highlights. Yeah, here we go. So, the 21st of January is going to be the season opener at Kentucky with the 2 duels, and then the 165 lap race. Then we're going to head to Darlington, Sonoma for the road course. We haven't been to Sonoma in maybe 3 seasons. Great racetrack. Should provide some good racing. Who knows, maybe we can have somebody upset the road course ace Jason Landry this season. Then we head over to Fontana, a racetrack that's now gone and being destroyed. Should provide some great racing. It's going to be a night race there in Fontana. Then we head to Daytona, Atlanta Motor Speedway. So 2 drafting style tracks right after each other. Then the All-Star race at Iowa there in March, first week of March. Then we go to the 2 kind of shorter tracks, Phoenix and Bristol, for some great racing. And before we head into the playoffs, we've got Circuit of the Americas, Texas Motor Speedway, and Talladega to finalize those playoff drivers. As they head down the back straightaway here, we got Nashville, Dover, and Kansas for that first round, and North Wilkesboro after Mother's Day. And then we've got Gateway and Charlotte to wrap up for the final 2 races of the playoffs, and then we go back to Michigan for that championship race. We moved from Talladega to Michigan. Seemed to be some good racing there last season at Michigan, and if you want to see that race, it's on the Cabot K Racing Network for all broadcasts related to the Bonfire and Skip Barber. We've got great broadcasts over there from all different aspects of the asphalt racing world. But pit cars pulling off pit road. We're going to get back green here going on to lap 7. Dave Medina going to lead him to the Geico restart zone. As he enters that zone, we'll see if he gets a jump here. And he does. The 29, not a great start there, but the second row doesn't take off either, so it's going to be smooth sailing for the number 9 car of David Medina. But Kevin Kyle in that 3rd spot had a kind of decent restart there. He's up on that top lane where he loves that middle of the top lane, just a run he gets off the corner. Let's see if he can clear Dennis Puckett here and take control of his race. Gotta worry about the dirty air. Dennis Puckett up near the wall. He's gonna get a good run here down the front straightaway through the quad oval as he sneaks up onto that rear bumper of the 31 car. even side by side going down the back straightaway. Wasn't able to get it there. Just playing with my cameras. But it does look like Dennis Puckett's going to clear him. Has a lot more speed after that first lap. Dennis, one of the drivers that ran the Coca-Cola 600 NIS race earlier. I guess it was last year, since we're now in 2024. So had a decent finish going for him there. Running for the top 10. Unfortunately, was taken out in a wreck there. But further back is his teammate in the number 8, Nick Mills, in between the 14 of Brock Hawkins and Ryan Vanassi in that 23 car. As we hear tires screeching, I'm not sure who it is. It's the 29 car. He got loose there, but it looks like he saved it. No yellow yet. Oh, as he gets put into the wall by the 15 of Joe Amato. Luckily, that wasn't a bigger incident than what it was. But there goes Brock Hawkins looking to the inside of the 31 of Kevin Kyle. That's going to bring Nick Mills and Ryan Vanassi. I'll get these names eventually memorized. They're going to be single file going down the front straightaway, but up front it's Dave Medina, followed closely behind by Dennis Puckett. Gap's less down to a half of a second. Let's see, let's ride on board with Dennis Puckett on that roof cam. Trying to stay in that draft on the straightaways, but he takes a different line, kind of further up, get that air onto the nose, get it turned. See if he can chase him down the straightaway. Further back, Nick Mills sitting right behind Kevin Kyle there. Taking a different line, going where he's not going. He's going to run that bottom lane the faster way around, but Kevin should get a run here off the corner just to pull away just a little bit. John Dorenbos, sorry I mispronounced that again, is in the pits. Probably get some repairs done. See how long he's in there. Keep you updated on that. But Dennis Puckett coming with a full head of steam, now down to 2/10 behind David Medina. David Medina probably saving his tires a little bit there. He was really close to winning that all-star race 2 seasons ago here at Charlotte against Nate Maurer. Photo finish 3 wide. So he knows how to run up front here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the American home for racing. David Owens, after that wreck there on lap 1, he's running that top lane, got fixed up, was a lap down, but I think he got his lap back for being the lucky dog since he was the only one a lap down. He's sitting right behind Nick Mills in that number 8 car, followed closely behind by Thomas Fox, who I was kind of worried about. He was sitting in a Discord channel all week long since Tuesday. I guess I wouldn't consider that all week, but we'll go with it. It seemed like he was stuck in there pulling the old Gary Wright maneuver of being stuck in a voice channel for weeks, maybe months. But it's glad he's here racing, and I think he's in that voice channel with all the other Bonfire guys here on the Discord server. Dennis Puckett lost a lot of ground there to the leader, David Medina. Not sure what happened, but David's catching some lap traffic of the 29 of John Dorenbos, who's 3 laps down, but he's back out on track. Make it 4 laps down now as David Medina gets around him. Not sure what happened to Dennis, but he lost a lot of speed there. He was almost 4/10 slower that last lap. So maybe he got up into the fence or had to get out of the gas, got a little tight. We won't know for sure. But Ryan Vanassi and Brock Hawkins are sitting behind Dennis Puckett there. So they're going to try and make a move. It does look like Dennis is getting a little tight there. Got really close to the wall outside of turn 4. Had to get out of the gas huge there. Maybe he used up his tires, or maybe that car's just not turning like he wants to. But it might be a 2-for-1 here. Get with Vanassi and Hawkins to try and get past Dennis Puckett here on lap 19. Closest battle is between David Owens, Kevin Kyle, and Nick Mills. Our Bonfire boys battling it out here with Thomas Fox and Joseph Amato waiting in the wings in that number 15 car. Closest battle we have on track here, so we're going to pay attention to this, see if anybody can get a run here. As Kevin Kyle is starting to look at the rear bumper of Nick Mills. Right on board here with Thomas Fox to look at this battle. See what he's seeing. As Dennis Puckett is really falling back now. He's all the way back to David Owens there. He was just right behind the leader a few laps ago, and now he's falling all the way back through the field. So something's seriously wrong with that race car. Something's not right. Maybe in the handling there. But Nick Mills is now going to get to his rear bumper. Really close there, off of turn number 4. But these guys are teammates, so they're used to working together and know how each other race. Maybe we can ride on board here with Dennis Puckett inside the cockpit of that race car. We hear the tires squealing. That's that right front pushing up the racetrack. He's really out of the gas. He's losing a whole bunch of speed. So I think it's a tire issue there for our number 12 league admin, our fearless leader, Dennis Puckett, and that number 12 Taki's car. Just those tires do not feel right. Maybe an offset there that his crew put on for the start of the race. But if you're worried that you don't have the right match, don't worry. We got FarmersOnly.com, huge partner here for the Cavalcade Racing Network. You don't have to be lonely at FarmersOnly.com. I'm glad Kevin Kyle brought them aboard with us. Great partner to have. And I believe Kevin is not alone anymore. I hasn't been alone, so. But I'm alone up here in the booth. My partner there is on the racetrack having loads of fun, and I thought I'd come up here in the booth and broadcast a little bit. So I'm sitting up here all alone by myself. They actually turned off all the lights here in the broadcast booth, so I'm actually sitting in the dark. Luckily, I was able to boot up the system and get here racing and broadcasting. But the gap now, David Medina is 3.4 seconds and gaining. He is just running away. No, Kevin Kyle has an issue when people run away with races where the gap's now like 10 seconds, but I'm gonna have to ask Kevin what his opinions here are on just the onslaught that Dave Medina is putting on here. As Ryan Vanassi and David Owens are going back and forth battling out, we saw the issues that these two had at the start of the race. Hopefully it doesn't develop into a big issue here as they race side by side. Oh, and Nick Mills gives the front bumper to Vanassi there in the 23. Showing a little bit of aggression here. He had to run. He had to keep going with it. Couldn't slow down, so he hit him in the rear end. And Nick Mills, or Kevin Kyle, just waiting in the wings. These guys are going to slow each other down if they keep racing side by side. If they want any chance of catching up to David Medina. And if we pull up the track map here, once I find it, yeah, here it is. You'll see it there with their car numbers, just the difference between Dave Medina and David Owens, about a corner separating the two. So when David Owens comes out at turn number 2 here, Dave Medina's already halfway down the straightaway there at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And he's just gaining time.
I apologize for racing you, bro. I just was trying to get away from you, so I stopped messing with you.
No, man, it's all good.
Oh, and the 23's loose
good
again.
job.
He's in the grass, hitting the jumps there inside the infield there, getting that incident point for going in the grass.
Cool, thank you.
Little X Games there for the 23 car. See where the next closest battle is here once I get over to my timing table. I believe it's Thomas Fox and Joseph Amato. They're racing for P6. They're the closest people on track that we have right now. Roughly 2/10 separating the two. But up in front, there's Ryan Vanassi in the 23 Dr. Pepper's car that we saw go through the infield. He might be fighting his tires just a little bit. But Thomas Fox and Joseph Amato are going to have some work to do if they're going to want to catch up to that number 23. Dennis Puckett, who we saw there running in that second position, falling back to 8th place. Big tire issue there for the number 12 car. Falling back 13 seconds behind Dave Medina when he was just 2/10. But looks like he's adapting to what that race car's feeling, and he's going to want to get fresh tires here when they hit pit road. But it's about half a second between Nick Mills and David Owens. But Nick Mills also has company with that number 31 car, the Roadblock, Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle moving his lanes around, trying to find the fastest way, find a little bit of speed around the racetrack. Drivers adapting to what the racetrack is developing into and the rubber that's been laid down, as I think David Owens scuffed into the outside wall there down the straightaway, trying to use all the racetrack. But he got into the wall out of turn 4. He's in the infield grass just like his partner in crime, Ryan Vanassi. He's going to give up that spot to Nick Mills, and Kevin Kyle's going to pass him on the outside there. Lost some momentum and probably a little bit of damage there as the number 11 got into the outside wall there. But these guys are 5 seconds now behind Dave Medina. So they're going to need a yellow if they're going to want to see the rear bumper of that number 9 car. So far, so good. And it does look like Thomas Fox is catching up to that number 23 car. We saw him further behind there after the number 23 decided to do some off-roading. So, but Thomas Fox running the bottom there, right behind the number 23 car, but he's making it work. He's going to get a run here down the front straightaway as the 23 bobbles, getting loose. I think both cars are starting to get tight, so they're kind of roughly on the same tire life there. But they've got the podium in their sights, about a straightaway separating the two groups here. But Thomas Fox wanting to get into that top 5 position. That last lap there, as I look at it now, it was a 10th faster for Thomas Fox. We'll pull up here. Let's see if I can get it up here. Maybe the time delta box is what I need. No, that's not what I need. Battle box, that's what it is. So it shows for the battle for first, but obviously that's not for the battle for first, as we don't see Dave Medina on that timing table. But it does look like the number 15 of Brock Hawkins and Joseph Amato come down pit road, so we are going to start seeing some green flag pit stops when it matters here on lap 38. But David Owens and I think possibly this 23 car of Ryan Vanassi may have a little bit extra fuel, as we saw him come down pit road to fix their repairs. We see here Thomas Fox there in the middle in that 6th spot. We can see his time deltas there, as he was a little bit slower there on the last lap on lap 38, but he's just progressively been making up time there on the number 23 in front of him. '23 got way high there. That's going to allow the 57 to get a run here through the quad oval. He's going to look to the inside. Dangerous spot to go too wide, but they both make it work. Not able to get to that left rear quarter panel of the 23, so Thomas Fox is going to try and do it again through the corners. Almost a 10th faster that time for Thomas Fox. But it does look like Kevin Kyle lost a huge amount of time there. He's back there with David Owens, almost a half second behind Nick Mills. So big mistake there for Kevin Kyle, as we show this group's lap times. So they'll all be compared on Nick Mills here. So we see David Owens was just 7 thousandths slower that last lap, and Kevin Kyle having that issue, 2 tenths, almost 3 tenths slower that last lap. So he must have had an issue, got tight, or maybe up into the fence. Well, it looks like Joseph Amato came into the pits, and Brock Hawkins looks like it crashed but jumped into the pits, so there was no yellow for that. So Hawkins is now sitting in the pits, but Joseph Amato is sitting 3 laps down, probably having to get some damage repairs there as well. So he's going to be racing against John Dorenbos in that number 29 Reese's car, as Nick Mills got a little loose there. That's going to put the 11 and the 31 right behind him on his rear bumper. David Owens looking to that top line to see if he can get a run there off the corner exit. They're going to be side by side going down, but we're going to watch this run here for the number 11. Should clear him possibly down the straightaway, and he does with that huge run. Nick Mills throwing it down to the bottom. He's going to want to get equal with David Owens here, but David Owens going to run the top. He gets up into the fence. That's going to lose momentum. Kevin Kyle looking at the bottom. As I lose him for a little bit there. Dennis Puckett coming out pit road, got his service done. He's 2 laps down. This 3-way battle for the 2nd spot, that runner-up position. So we're not even halfway done with this race yet. Kevin Kyle shooting up the racetrack and trying to use that momentum, get to David Owens' rear bumper. Both slower that time around. Nick Mills keeps that spot up front in that 2nd position. But here comes Kevin Kyle on the top lane using that momentum. He's going to shoot to the bottom, it looks like, or he's just going to get right behind David Owens. Couldn't generate a big enough run, it looks like. He's going to shoot now to the bottom, gets inside David Owens. David Owens having to check up so he doesn't get into the fence again. That times it was Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle in that 3rd position, side by side with David Owens. But they're going to keep switching on and off. Dave Medina now 7.5 seconds in front. No big rush. Even if he pitted maybe twice, he'd still keep the lead. David Owens into the outside fence there off of 2. Kevin Kyle. I keep wanting to say Ryan Twyman, but he's not in this race. I guess he's just on the tip of my mind. I guess that's a compliment there, Ryan Twyman, if you end up watching this. But there goes Kevin Kyle across the start-finish line through the quad oval. He's going to try and clear this number 11 car, but the 11's going to stay to the top lane. But it looks like Kevin Kyle's going to be able to pull away in that number 31 car. Six cars on the lead lap still, even after pit stops. But we got to see this top 6 as Nick Mills shoots to the bottom. And David Owens is going to follow him. That's going to put the 2 FOCM drivers sitting 1-2, but they still have to come down pit road. So we're going to watch the service and the race off of pit road here. See if I can get to the right camera. Here it is. We're going to watch this race off of pit road between the number 8 and the 11. Dave Medina now going across the start-finish line for lap 50. Nick Mills shooting out of his box now. David Owens right side or left side still going up, and he's going to drop off the jack, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to lose all that ground to Nick Mills, and I think he has a little bit of damage that he's going to repair there, so we might see him go a lap down here to get those damages repaired.
Thanks for the host. Thanks, man, for listening. Good. Have a good day, guys.
Does look like the number 29 is going to head into the garage area. He's done for the day. And the number 23 is going to come in and get his service done. But Dave Medina and Kevin Kyle coming down pit road to get their service done. We're going to see Dave Medina here get his service done. It's going to be the first time he's going to get a fresh set of tires this whole race after that caution on lap 1. Kevin Kyle's going to be behind him. So David Owens only 1 lap down, but he could get it back here as he leaves pit road. So we're going to leave that track map up. Dave Medina leaving right now. Kevin Kyle also leaving. So we're going to watch this battle. We're going to go ride with Nick Mills here. As he hits the front straightaway, we should see him pass the number 31 there, who's going to be on the apron gaining speed, but this number 8 car is going to have the momentum. Should drive right past him. So there's the number 31 roadblock. Nick Mills going to shoot to the bottom with those fresh set of tires, but Kevin Kyle's going to try and run that top lane, get a run off the corner. Going to be side by side. Now they're kind of equal on speed, so this is where we're going to see the racing and the long run speed come out of these 2 drivers. Got the ticker pulled up here so that we can see all the racing action up front here. Kevin Kyle's dropped back a little bit off of Nick Mills. Nick Mills having those warm tires, he's going to be able to drive the car a lot harder while Kevin Kyle's got to warm up those tires still. But I believe this is our closest battle, or I could be wrong, as I see the 57 of Thomas Fox right behind Ryan Vanassi. See if we can ride on board here with the 57 of Thomas Fox out of the throttle, 5th gear. As he gets up to a fence, we rode on board with him here as he kisses the outside wall just a little bit. That's going to lose some of his momentum against that number 23. lost a little bit of time there. Gap's now 0.6 to Ryan Vanassi up front here in front of the 57. See what else we got going on around here as we are on board with the number 57. I think this is the closest battle we have on track, but Kevin Kyle, it looks like, is coming closer to Nick Mills. Gap's now 0.4 of a second. But we're going to switch back and forth here between these two battles for our top 5 positions, as it keeps wanting to switch up on me. So we're going to stick with Nick Mills here for that second position between him and Kevin Kyle. Kevin Kyle's saying last season that he would just struggle with the long run speed of his car. You feel like he just hang back way too long and he wouldn't have enough time to capitalize on the amount of tire he saved. But it looks like here he's developing that skill, honing it in. It could be a true menace here in this, I believe it's 10th season of Bonfire. We're going to pull up the timetable here between these two guys. And now we're going to compare him against Dave Medina, who's that leader. But we're going to mostly compare it on these two guys here. Nick Mills and Kevin Kyle, we're going to compare their lap times. See if Kevin's going to be able to gain any ground on this number 8 car as they cross the start-finish line now. Kevin's 600s off of Nick Mills there. Nick Mills is a little bit faster there. But they're not as far back from Dave Medina. They can see him when they go down the back straightaway. They can see him entering that third corner as they come out of the second. So about a straightaway separating these two guys. Past the halfway point, Nick Mills gaining a little bit of time there on Dave Medina. Same with Kevin Kyle. But Kevin Kyle falling still a little bit further behind Nick Mills. Time's falling off right there against David Medina. But we're going to go back to David Owens, who we saw had to take that extra long pit stop to get those repairs done. He was sitting in the pits for 55 seconds in his box alone, so really long pit stop there for David Owens and Joseph Amato. But Joseph Amato pitted there on lap 35, so almost 13 laps separating these two guys. So Joe's going to have to pit way earlier than David Owens is. As we see him going down pit road now, he's down there at the pit road entrance, so he's coming in for his service. Thomas Fox falling off the pace, lost touch there with Ryan Vanassi. So he's going to lose touch there with that battle for that 4th spot. But he's still in the top 5. Still a good run here at Charlotte. Always great to get a top 5 finish. But it really is this battle for the 2nd spot, as Dennis Puckett is waiting there in the back wings. He's a lap down. But it really is just this battle for the second spot that's taking up most of the spotlight. Slowly increased there between Nick Mills and Dave Medina. Slowly but surely, that gap's getting a little bit bigger back to what we saw. I think before pit stops is about 7 or 8 seconds was the gap. So we're 2 seconds off that, but they still got halfway to go through this fuel run. Pull up the track map again. You're gonna see your drivers by their car number on the track map. We see the 9 car there catching up to Joseph Motto, who took that pit stop there on lap 62. So he's gonna have fresh tire. He should pull away from Dave Medina. Kevin Kyle slowly but surely catching up back to Nick Mills to that front bumper. Thomas Fox falling off the pace there. 18 seconds falling behind. And he's just losing a lot of speed. He might be having that tire issue that Dennis Puckett was having there on that first stint. It's going to be 72 laps down here as Dave Medina crosses the start-finish line there on our track map. We won't be seeing it on our cameras because we just want to keep touch with this this battle for that second spot with the closest racing happening on track. Keep you in the action. But we're not seeing a lot of lane movement between these two guys. Not trying to find the speed. They're going to run their lines the same. Kevin Kyle kind of using that middle lane. Get a little bit of momentum off corner exit. Gains him about maybe 500ths going down the straightaway there. Really is 2/10 separating these two drivers. Both aren't using up their tires. I don't think we're gonna ride on board with the number 31 car inside his cockpit once I can find my mouse on my computer. Here we go. We're gonna ride on board on the roll bar here. This is Nick Mills. We wanted the 31. We wanted to learn his secrets, see what he's doing. We can hear that high RPM coming out of corner number 4. Slow there on the entry of the corner, but keeping it nice and safe away from that wall. But I think he is falling back just a little bit from that number 8 car. But watch this run coming out of turn number 4. We see the run generating right there. Little bobble there from the number 8. Looks like Nick got in the wall. Kevin Kyle going to the bottom. We're going to see these guys race side by side off into the back straightaway. The 31 clears the 8, but can the 8 come back, do the crossover? Does not look like it. We see Nick Mills. He's going down pit road for an early pit stop. We'll look at their fuel strategy here with their stint lengths. If it pops up, yeah. 28 laps there on Nick Mills' set of tires. So he's going to come in for an early pit stop, almost half of what they did that first stint, but they also had the yellow. But maybe Nick Mills could be good to the end on fuel here when he does this early pit stop and maybe try and pull an undercut on the number 9 car. Does look like it. Sound like someone went off track. Yeah, it was Nick Mills. We heard him go through the grass. I think it was on a pit exit. We could we're gonna rewind there, see what we could see. Wow, sideways goes Nick Mills. Probably in a low gear, probably first gear, and just spun it off there. But able to save it. Great save to still be in this race. But you lost a lot of time there on the exit. So we'll have to see where he comes out. Nine cars slowly creeping up on some lap traffic. You can see them there as they go into turn 1. One of those being David Owens, that number 11 car. We heard about his championship run through other leagues with the Bonfire trucks, and then through the MRL League for Wednesday and Thursday, and then the Friday Night Beer League Championship. Wasn't able to get it done there for the Cup Series for Bonfire there at Michigan. It was Jason Landry for that last 2-lap battle there at Michigan. Made for some exciting racing. But right now it's David Medina, who's 7.3 seconds up on Kevin Kyle, who's in second. Pretty much the whole turn 1 and 2 distance separating these two drivers. But yeah, David Medina is catching up to the lap traffic here of Joseph Amato, David Owens, and Thomas Fox in that number 57 car. See those guys right there, and just in the back of your screen, maybe we could we can see David Medina. There's a good shot on the front straightaway. You can see David. Oh, and we hear some talking on the radio. Maybe a little bit of hard racing. We'll go back and look at that. Catch you up on the action. Oh, we see a little bit of contact there out of turn number 2. We'll go and ride on board here. Yeah, a little bit of contact there coming out of corner number 2. I don't think that was completely on Dennis. He was ahead coming out of turn number 2. And looked like Ryan Vanassi just caught him at the wrong time. But Dennis Puckett did come down pit road, so I think he wanted to get to the bottom to go down pit road once we get the full story here. But Kevin Kyle going 1 lap down. See what he did there to cause that. Pitted there on lap 84, so 3 laps ago. Kevin Kyle came down pit road, get enough fuel for the end, and go back racing. Both of these drivers, Nick Mills and Kevin Kyle, going to try and pull an undercut and get closer to Dave Medina, maybe have a chance. That puts Nick Mills right behind Ryan Vanassi in that 23 car as he puts the front bumper to him. Lap traffic getting in the way for that number 8 car. As he hits the wall, that's going to provide some damage there for Nick Mills. He's going to race hard on the 23's door. And David Medina coming down pit road now. So both of these guys will get their laps back. See if they can do anything to catch Medina on the outlap. See how close they can get as Dave Medina starts to lead pit road, and they're just coming out of turn number 4. Right on board here with David Medina. He's going to get onto the middle of the backstretch, but here comes Nick Mills and Kevin Kyle, as we saw him there on our screen, just further behind. Less than 2 and 3 seconds separating this group. But Dave Medina is going to have to get up to speed, but he's going to have the freshest tires out of both of them. So, be great to see what happens here. David Owens getting his lap back, but he's going to have to come in for a pit stop because I don't think he's good on fuel. But there we see the correct times. The delta between the leader, Dave Medina, and Nick Mills down to 2 seconds here, with roughly 25 laps left to go in this race. So it's crunch time now, as Nick Mills maybe had an issue there on the back straightaway. He's down on the apron, so he's going to come in for a pit stop. It looks like maybe he's done. So that just leaves Kevin Kyle to push the charge on Dave Medina. Ryan Vanassi on a fresh set of tires. It's going to catch up to David Owens. Just 2 seconds is the gap there between these two, but it should be fairly quick with David Owens on an old set of tires. Dennis Puckett there right behind the number 23. We heard a little bit of talking on the radio between these two. Mostly just out of the 23's radio. That 23 car is pushing to catch up to the 11. But the 11 goes off track again. So huge struggles for that 11 car on handling out of turn number 4. He's going to go up the racetrack. He lost all that momentum. Kevin Kyle through turn 4. Can see Dave Medina 3 seconds in front of him. We'll go on board. You can see Dave Medina up there going through turns 2 now. that is the uphill battle that Kevin Kyle is facing right now. Short on tires and time, it seems like, for this number 31 car to get up there to David Medina. But everybody has their mistakes on track. We saw it there with Nick Mills, who's still in the pits, so he might be done for the day. And David Owens now in pit road, going to get his last set of tires on with 21 laps to go here. David Owens going to stay 1 lap or 2 laps down now after staying out long there, hoping for a yellow. And you can see there, 8th through 12th are out of this race. 10th and or 11th and 12th never started the race. But Brock Hawkins, John Dorenbos, and Nick Mills are the ones that we've lost throughout this race. But everybody else is still out on track, but there is only 3 guys on the lead lap. Take a quick look at that time delta. Between the 2nd and 3rd position. Ryan Vanassi pitted 4 laps later than Kevin Kyle, so he's got 4 laps fresher tires. But it's going to be a huge gap to manage here with 18 to go. He's going to have to catch a second per lap, and I don't see that happening with the lap times that are being put down in the 30s, the low 30 range. But we'll look at the sector times here. 1 and 2 for our top 3, our podium spots. Kevin Kyle gaining a little bit of time there in that 2nd sector against Dave Medina. But Dave Medina just saving those tires. He's got his teammate behind him, but his teammate's hungry for a win. Last race I think he won was Talladega in a Gen 4 car. So we're talking decades since it's been this been Kevin Kyle's last win. He's hungry for one. Speaking of hungry, don't forget IHOP serving those pancakes, International House of Pancakes. If you're hungry for some pancakes, go to IHOP. Find your closest IHOP near you using the IHOP app. Kevin Kyle losing a little bit of time there against Dave Medina. Losing roughly a 10th and 700ths off of Dave Medina for that last lap around. But these times are crucial if he wants to get close to Dave Medina. Can't use up his tires though. You gotta make it to the end of this race for that 2nd spot. You can't risk getting into the outside wall and bending one of those toe links. David Owens now sitting in pit road. I think he's done for the race. Yeah, he's been sitting in there for more than 30 seconds, so he's done for today. That's probably going to allow, or it's allowed everybody to pass him now. So we've lost now, I believe 4 drivers now with David Owens, Nick Mills, John Dorenbos, and Brock Hawkins. All that we have lost today. Kevin Kyle pulling a fast sector 1, but losing 300ths there in the second sector from being even with David Medina. Gap's now 3 seconds, separating the two with 12 to go. Yeah, we're going to keep riding on board with Kevin Kyle, watching those times between the two as Ryan Vanassi putting a good amount of lap time down, but he's fallen back from that 18-second gap to now to 22. So he's got no chance of catching up to that number 31 car, but Kevin Kyle's going to give the spot to Thomas Fox there in the 57. He's going to lose a lot of time doing that, though, as we see 4/10 just letting the 57 by. To go, and it's all David Medina in that front spot, catching up to Dennis Puckett there, but he's going to be lapped down, so no worries there. But controlled this race from start to finish, started on pole. He's going to finish in that number 1 spot. I believe he's going to end the race too with the fastest lap. No, I'm wrong. I believe that's going to go to Ryan Vanassi, fastest lap with a 29.74 for fastest lap of the race. Kevin Kyle only doing 2 pit stops, Ryan Vanassi with 3. That's why he's able to pull those fast lap times out. It's because he's good on tires, but also had that incident there on lap 1. Gonna be 5.5 to go here with David Medina and Kevin Kyle, who's just a corner separating the two. That gap's now to 5.3, and it's gonna keep growing here until we reach the checkered flag. Gonna be 3 to go here. It's all David Medina. I'm sorry for being quiet, but there's really nothing else going on track with only 6 cars on track. So it's just here to the end of the race now for David Medina. But huge congratulations to David. I know it's 3 to go, and I'm probably gonna Rick Allen it, but just leading the field all race long. gap sitting roughly 7 seconds between both stints, and it looks like it's going to end that way too with this last stint, but it's going to hit the ground running for Season 10. Huge milestone for the Bonfire Series with 10 seasons on the board. Great community. Great opportunity for a recruitment race today. We're going to have another one next week at Kansas Motor Speedway, so hopefully we'll get a lot more drivers for that racetrack. Fun racetrack, fast racetrack. And we're on the white flag here, so it's going to be one more to go for David Medina. Coming out of turn 4, it's all that 9 car. David Medina winning the recruitment race at Charlotte. Brought to you by the Bonfire Racing League. Kevin Kyle in that second spot with Ryan Vanassi taking that third. Thomas Fox in 4th. Dennis Puckett in 5th for that top 5 after the huge struggles he had today. Joseph Amato in 6th, 3 laps down as well.
Good
And
race,
then
everyone.
David Owens, Nick Mills, John Dorenbos, and Brock Hawkins going to be in your top 10. No donuts today for the number 9 car. They're going to take that engine back to the shop, and they're going to keep it and research it to try and put it in the cars for this season. So we don't want to tear up those motors yet. But we'll go back to Kevin Kyle, see where he's at on track. He's going to have a good time. Donuts for Kevin. He knows what's up. Burn it down, Kev. You got that second position, and you're here to have a good time. So don't forget that this donut moment is brought to you by your favorite donut shop. So donuts for Kev. He's going to do a reverse donut maybe. Ryan Vanassi's there as he hits the wall. Reverse donut for Kevin Kyle, it looks like. Obviously, that's a last season motor there for Kevin Kyle, as he's going to be done for the day. So we're going to go to our scenic cam here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and see if I can pull up the results and if I'm smart enough. Doesn't look like I am. No, it does not. There we go. Nope, that's qualifying results. I guess I'm not smart enough to do this. Yeah, I'm not smart enough to do it. But we'll just skip that. Oh, wait, here we go. Now I'm smart enough. I figured out what I was doing wrong. Here we go. Here's the results. Dave Medina for Team FOCM having that 7.2 gap against second place Kevin Kyle. His teammate, Ryan Vanassi, came to the recruitment race. Who knows? Maybe he could be racing next season with the gap of 26 seconds behind Medina. Thomas Fox, 1 lap down. With Dennis Puckett and Joseph Amato 3 laps down. And then the fallen David Owens, Nick Mills, John Dorenbos, and Brock Hawkins going multiple laps down and going to the garage. And we have those that did not start with Peyton Peterson and Stephen Barnett, who did not start this race. But it was fun. It was a good time to broadcast. Good chance to practice here. So we'll keep you updated on all our broadcasting news between Kevin and I. But after that race, I'm kind of hungry. So I'm going to get some breakfast and have a good rest of my Sunday. And I hope you guys have a good Sunday too. Peace out. And yeah, showboat out.